Hare Krishna. Doesn't go out of the ear. We just 3 days we just chanted a lot, but still we are ready to chant more. It is, I think, answering the desire of the soul. We are just finding something here, then I'm ready to address you. Wow, Lalita Govinda. Sorry. 8, 3, no, that's 1. That's 5. Hare-rama, hare-rama, rama-rama, hare-hare. So Hare Krishna, I'm very, very, very delighted to be back in the shelter of the Panchatattva deities, who are really outstanding deities. Outstanding because the Lord seems to be very much present in these deities. And I have pictures of these deities which I used to carry everywhere where I'm going. So I'm very, very happy to be here. And thank you also for your reception. Your reception was very, very affectionate, very kind. There is one thing where I'm a little bit, I do not really know how to react. I remember once we had received Prabhupada, I think it was in Melbourne, and the devotees had, with flowers, very affectionately written Hare Krishna on the entrance of the temple. So when Srila Prabhupada came there, he asked, how can I enter the temple? I cannot step on Krishna in the form of the holy names. And he took the back entrance. I similarly remember a very dear godbrother of Srila Prabhupada, who has left this planet. When he would see, for instance, a Harinam Chata, which was lying on the floor, he would stop all activities and pay his obeisances to the holy name printed on this Harinam Chata. So flowers are not exactly Krishna's presence, but they represent Krishna's artistic sense. Flowers are, if you so want, the painting of God in this world. And I know you are so affectionate when I saw Siddheshwari with that wild Persian smile, throwing the flowers. I know, what should I say? This is an expression of affection. That's definitely always nice. But at the same time, I remembered flowers are the painting of God. And therefore, it was becoming increasingly difficult as more and more flowers came down to enter the temple, because definitely we try to develop love of Krishna, so we will not step on his painting, no? But I don't know what to do, really. I don't think there is a very clear answer, and various devotees will deal with this question differently. And I also love to stand in a rain of flowers. Who wouldn't love it? It's so poetic, so extraordinary, but it throws me always in a very big dilemma. Here it was easy because it was not so much, so you could but if it's a lot, I think this is natural. As we spend time in Krishna consciousness, as we become older in Krishna consciousness, more and more we think Krishna, we feel Krishna's presence everywhere. And when we are young in Krishna consciousness, we feel Krishna nowhere. So I think that it's normal with the passage of years that you see the Lord everywhere, which makes your life very blissful, but at the same time you are thrown into a confusion. Now, how to act? Should I who would say anything to that wild smiling devotee from Persia, you know? First of all, she cannot hear anything at this moment, and second of all, you can never say no to love, no? And that is something you also learn, to never say no to affection, appreciation. So I'm just saying that was the reason why I jumped back and forth over the flowers. I hope I didn't look too strange for you. Good. It is a very nice time for me to address all of you. I think I recognize some of you. You were there at this 3 days Holy Name Immersion Retreat. Some of you were afraid to go there, and you have avoided it very strategically, intelligently. It was a wonderful retreat. We were in the midst of the forest, really. I've never seen such a wonderful place for retreats. I mean, it has really, I think that was Vrindavan Pur, if you ask me. And yes, and we had this retreat of the Holy Name, where I left the devotees with a Isha formula, a formula which would really guarantee the devotees that they would meet Krishna in the Holy Name. And I won't tell it now because I hope to make money by selling it, this formula. I'm joking. Of course I will tell it, but at the end of the lecture. Here I just wanted to, today want to speak on the subject, the heart of the Holy Name, because there is chanting, and strangely enough, there's chanting when Krishna is present, and there is chanting when Krishna is not present. I just have to see. Oops. Does someone, is Purnamasi here? She is here. Purnamasi, I'm sorry, I have to ask you. Purnamasi, can you please go to my apartment? Krishna will give you the key. In the room where the beds are, there is one table. And under the lamp, I unfolded a piece of paper. It's only this big. And I need it because it has a surprise inside. I forgot it. Yeah, it's folded paper. There's only one. So, can you... Yes, here is that. Good. So, Hare Krishna, should we chant a little bit more? Yes. Why? Why not? Let me just... I'm trying to find my cartels. There's somebody else. Does someone have a pair of cartels? Could you? Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vasatyale Shadarine Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So nice to chant, no? We can't leave it. Good. When a devotee lives in this way, his salvation, his going back home, back to Godhead, is guaranteed. We can see this to be true from the example of Gajendra, who anxiously prayed to the Lord and thus received an immediate chance to return home, back to Godhead. Wow! We hear about this attitude of a devotee towards misery. He thinks that's good because now one can remember Krishna and not be in Maya. Remember when Haridas Thakur was captured by the Katsi, he was brought into the prison where a few other brahmanas and spiritual people were held captive. And all these prisoners came to the doors of the prison. They took their hands and stuck them through the prison bars and they prayed, "Oh, Sadhu Maharaj, please save us, please bless us." So Haridas Thakur was coming in and everyone in the prison was just praying to him through the bars, you know. And he said, "May you always remain like this." Haridas Thakur's blessings was very difficult to understand. He's a sadhu, the prisoner thought. Why has he said we should always remain like this? We were hoping he would help us in some ways so that our judgment would be changed and we would be released from the prison. But then Haridas Thakur saw that they had this difficulty that they couldn't understand and rebelled or turned against him. And he said, I didn't mean my blessing like you understood it. I meant it when I said remain like this. I was thinking remain in this consciousness where you really think there's nothing else and nobody else than Krishna. That's my blessing. Don't worry, in 1 or 2 or 3 days you will be released from prison. And yes, it happened like this. So for a devotee, it's better when he feels he can pray to Krishna, be focused on Krishna, than if he gets lost in luxury. Can you understand this different perspective? It's totally different than the perspective of an ordinary man. You could go through Ljubljana to the street and interview people. What do you consider more valuable? To be in a situation where you turn to Krishna or to God, or to be in luxury? Oh, of course, luxury. I'm working very hard every day and would love that my hard-earned money could give me luxury. For a devotee to be in Krishna consciousness is most important, more important than other considerations. For a devotee, he has 3 desires really. He wants to somehow meet Krishna, or have Krishna close in his life. He wants to serve Krishna, and he wants to please Krishna. That's what the heart of a devotee is. And by the way, that's also the heart of chanting the holy name. We just had a 3-day holy name immersion retreat. And I want to ask you a question. We always say Krishna's in the holy name, and we chanted the holy name so much. Did anyone here see him? You are looking at me, and I am looking at you. It is said, when we chant the holy name, Krishna is present. Did any one of you see him? On the lake, we quoted a poem that there was a man who was chanting the whole night the holy name, and then a cynic said, "So you have called him, has he come?" Man didn't know what to answer, and he stopped chanting and he fell into a confused sleep. Now in the sleep, the Lord appeared to him and said, "Why did you stop chanting?" And the man said, "Because you never came." The man said, then the Lord in the heart spoke to him some things which is, I will not go there, but I'm asking you also this question. You have chanted, has Krishna come? 3 days. You didn't earn a penny during this time. You gave up everything else and you came. Not all of you, I know. Some maybe, I don't know why others did not come. Maybe they think it's impossible that Krishna comes. I think they would have come if they would have thought Krishna comes when we call him. But then, I mean, who would not have come? My dear devotees, there is something like chanting the holy name and not chanting the holy name. I brought something with me today for you to explain the point. Moment, it's not yet ready. Can you see this? What is it? Capsula. Is this correct? Could there be a more exact description of this? It's empty. Acha. Now it looks very similar to this capsula. Very similar. But this will not work as a medicine. This might work if Krishna is merciful. This looks like a medicine, and some of you said capsula immediately. And this is a medicine. In this, there is no medicine. In this full capsula, there is medicine. So, although they are exactly the same, I took great care. I took them from the same box. One is able to work, and the other does not work in the same way. So, when we chant, there is also something like an empty name. A name where Krishna is not present. And there is also a name, a type of chanting where Krishna is absolutely present and is with us and appears on the tongue of the devotee and goes from there into the heart of the devotee. There are many verses which describe this. So let us ask the question, what is there anything we can do to chant the name and then Krishna is there? Or do we have to go to retreat after retreat and no Krishna? What is the heart of the holy name? First of all, I would like, because this is a subtle point, give you an example from Srila Prabhupada's teachings, where he said Krishna is not there, although his name was chanted. It was in Shida Mayapur. I can't tell you the exact name. I think, if I remember, it was around the year 74, and the devotees arranged a kirtan festival in Shida Mayapur. And because they wanted to attract also the local people, they invited some Bengali kirtaniyas. Have you ever seen Bengali kirtaniyas? Have you heard them? Wow, they can play mridanga. It is something else. They sing in voices which are higher than every conceivable voice. They know melodies. You will faint, not faint, but you will be very surprised. And they dance, my God, they dance really like devatas. Some Bengali kirtan groups, they are very good, and they chant Hare Krishna, that everyone in the group is, everyone who is there is absolutely impressed by their musical talent. So there was one of these favorite, famous kirtan groups, and Prabhupada was nearby. He was, and he said, they are not chanting Hare Krishna. The devotee said, they are only chanting Hare Krishna because we have made this as a condition. If you would participate in this kirtan mela or kirtan festival, only Hare Krishna Mahamantra, no other mantra. Prabhupada said, they are not chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada, what are they chanting? Prabhupada said, money, money, money. But Prabhupada, it was, Hare Krishna, we hear, they are chanting. No, they have empty names. They are interested in earning money, because it's a fact we had offered. These kirtan groups come, they require a little Lakshmi, not much. It's nothing. It's insignificant, but they live from this. They maintain their families by this, and so on. This was Prabhupada's thing. So there is something like chanting the holy names and never chanting Hare Krishna. That is there. That is a possibility. Just like there are empty medicinal capsulas, and I think you have seen full medicinal capsulas. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said once something which made a lot of sense to me. I have, since I came to Krishna consciousness, always wondered, how can it be that I just sing a song and God is present? I just thought, how is this possible? And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, is it so easy? Is God so simple? And it's his biggest thing in the world. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, you cannot capture the name simply, the name with a big N, Krishna, as the name, simply by vibrating the syllables with your tongue. Krishna will come down in his holy names only when he is attracted by your any idea. When does Krishna come down the name, when he is attracted by what? Pure devotion, that's very high level. What? Sincerity. Love, someone says. Yes. Prabhupada said, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said at that time, when he's attracted by your serving nature. All the other answers are also correct, but here he wanted to stress that only a person who serves Krishna and who has this incarnation will be able to meet Krishna when the holy name is there. Otherwise he will have an empty holy name. There is a verse by Rupa Goswami. Do you remember this verse? Where Rupa Goswami speaks about this? Not exactly. Not like this. It doesn't start also like this. I think you know it very well. I will say it for you. Atashi Krishna namadi nabhavet grayam indriyai sevon mukhehi jivado svayam eva spuratyada. Atashi Krishna namadi nabhavet grayam indriyai. We can't capture Krishna, his name, his pastimes, and so on, with these present senses. You know, you can't throw out a net and capture God in it. No. But he becomes attracted, sevon mukhe hijivado, when you are inclined to render service with your tongue. This inclination means, sevon mukhe literally means, if you turn your face towards Krishna, sevon mukhe, with a desire to serve him, only then the Lord spuratyada becomes manifest. He comes presence in his holy name. So that is the whole idea. Hare Krishna. What do you think? I think some of you think very deeply. You think, oh, Maharaji, do you feel that when we have this service attitude, then Krishna will become manifested on my tongue? Is this what you are saying today? Don't we do all service? We live in this temple, some of you, I mean, a few of you, but we are in the congregation and we do seva. We were seeing the service attitude of the devotees at the retreat. So many have done so much service. It was very impressive, and the temple president himself has cooked, and many of you were there cutting vegetables very elegantly and very nicely. Service. Let us say, in Vaishnavism, there's a natural progression from sambandha to seva. Sambandha means the understanding, who am I, who is Krishna, and what this world is meant for. When a devotee understands, oh Krishna, I am your servant, please accept me. I'm trying to chant, but I make so many mistakes and I feel sometimes so dry that I don't even want to chant my 16 rounds. And when there's a kirtan program, I run the other direction. I'm so sorry. Can you not give me some taste or help me? My dear devotees, when you pray like this, it is then when you start to enter the holy name. It is in this sincere expression of your identity as a soul who has left Krishna and who is, as a result, almost cursed with a distaste in Krishna. We don't like, of course, a little bit is all right, 1 hour a day, yes, and so on. But we are speaking here of this mood where you say, oh no, Krishna, I have become a Maya Das, but I'm really only a Krishna Das. When the soul starts, this is called Atma Krandan, crying for Krishna. It is at this moment where your sambandha, your connection starts. It starts with the road of tears. There are different types of crying, and I think we all know, let us say there are 3 types of crying. There is Deha Krandan, crying when the body is in misfortune, when there is pain and when there are different things, when ladies have miscarriages. Oh, it's so painful. It's so there is crying, but there is also another type of crying which happens especially at these heavy moments. It's the manasad krandan, the crying of the mind, where our feelings are really disturbed, where we are confused. How could Krishna tolerate this? And our mind is in turmoil and we are upset. No? Do you know these 2 types of crying? When there's physical pain, they're so bad that you can't do it and you don't want to take any more of these super, super heavy painkillers because the price is too heavy to pay. It is making the whole body so dull and toxic. I think we know physical crying. It is a little bit more, I'm speaking of a little bit more than this, oh, vaya! No, I was thinking of really pain, like the dentist. Do you know mind crying when you are in absolute misery, you're misunderstood, your marriage is almost breaking apart? Ooh. God forbid that others notice it, otherwise there will be rumors about me. And this. Do you know when you're misunderstood, when there's politics about you, or when you are just so shy and so insecure in your life that you don't even dare anything in your life, and then you sit in the evening and go, life is so miserable. I often see this when devotees come to me and talk about the misery. They go, they cry very much, and then I have all this in my bag for this situation. It should be there, I hope. No, I've run out of stock. No, it's here. This here. I sometimes say I would like to cry with you because I also know the miseries of this material existence. But I sometimes have seen people come to me and crying tears which are not because of physical pain. It's not because of mental pain, which is much, much more heavy than physical pain. It's the Atma Krandan, or crying of the soul, who just feels, oh no, I'm separated from Krishna. I need only Krishna. And my dear devotees, it is this Atma Krandan which Krishna wants to hear. That's the heart of chanting. It's when the soul cries because it has realized, or we have realized, that we are here in the wrong program. We are, as they say in Germany, in the wrong movie. We are in the wrong situation. And at that time, this crying reaches Krishna, and he's there in the holy name fully. Therefore, the devotee will sometimes think a pain or disappointment which brings him to the state to understand what is material life is much better than having a beautiful body, lots of wealth, having good fame, good reputation, or what else is there, education, being highly educated and intelligent. No, devotee says, oh, these things all cover the soul, so that I think the material world is my home. But when the devotee understands, oh, it's not, and I'm missing you, Krishna, I know I will not become happy and satisfied without your presence in my life, then Krishna cannot keep himself hidden any longer, and he comes. I'm almost finished. So this type of understanding of I'm a soul, I'm here, let me say, I'm here separated from Krishna, and I want to be connected with him, will bring a conclusion. The conclusion is, my dear devotees, I'm here. Do you have some service for me? Just something. Why, the devotees, I sometimes say, why do you want to do service? It's so much work, and you won't get any payment here. Why do you want to do service? And then a devotee who has woken up to the reality says, because I'm a servant. That's my identity. I belong to Krishna. I'm now his lost servant, but I wish to finish this. This is called heart deep chanting. And when you chant in a service mentality, it's no longer lip deep. Have you ever been in the situation that someone says to you, I like you so much? And then you say, could you maybe do this little thing for me? Oh, I'm terribly busy at the moment. Then you know this was lip deep, a lip deep statement. But have you also seen someone who may not even say, I like you so much, but who wants to be helpful for your life, who wants to serve you, who wants to support you? Then you know this person has a heart deep connection with you. So it's also with Krishna. When we do service for Lord Krishna, serve him in a service mood, then this is very nice. So I want to end this presentation with a little kirtan. I want to try to support you by leading you into a kirtan done with these feelings that I'm eternal servant. I'm thinking, are you ready to sing more, or have we already sung enough? No, more. We can sing more. Good. So I request you to sit straight. Let me also do this. we are speaking today about the heart of chanting, right? The heart of the holy name. What was the heartfelt expression of chanting? Service mood. Yes, some of you have said it. So how do we do this when we chant? It is quite simple. You just, as we said, intention, you sit down and say, Krishna, I would love to now in this kirtan address you. I want to turn to you. I want to praise you. I want to chant your holy name. Please allow me to do this. Sevanmukhe, this turning my face towards you. And that's already the service which Krishna likes when we turn to him. And then there is a little technique which Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said. I will, as we do the kirtan, introduce you in the technique. I find this technique is extremely powerful. It's really, it's actually a meditative technique. It comes from Bhaktisiddhanta and Saraswati Thakur. He speaks about how to achieve perfection in chanting mantras. Oh, that's good, no? But I want to say it to you when we are chanting so that you can immediately apply it. So we sit down. We are already sitting. Please say with me. What is the tonality? C. All together, please. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirshesha Shunyavadi Paskatyare Satarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Chanting very nice. As we have heard, chanting should be heart deep, not lip deep. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives us a very nice technique. He says the perfection of chanting can be attained when one keeps the vibration of the mantra in the heart. In other words, you sing really as if you're singing with the heart. You can try it, it works wonders. And then at the same time, one should control the mind so that when the mind wanders somewhere, you take it back. So try to sing with the heart, no? The heart deep thing. Keep the vibration in the heart. And as you do this, be just careful that the mind doesn't go somewhere else, but is also there where the vibration is, that is in the heart. Okay, so let us chant at the next opportunity, which comes now.
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare-rama, Hare-rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. I wanted to say something during the kirtan where I wanted to tell you, okay, this keeping the vibration in the heart and at the same time taking care that the mind doesn't go away but bringing it back. That's the technique, but there is another point, and I wanted to say it, but then I could hear that you were doing this already without anyone having to tell you. One moment, please. And I felt, oh, what am I doing? These devotees chant much nicer than I will ever chant in this life. And if I now play the teacher of the holy name, that the Krishna will be not satisfied. What I wanted to say but didn't say is that during kirtan it's very important that we turn towards Krishna. This Sevan Mukhe, that we look at me. I have my face here and I'm looking a little bit over the devotee who sits leaning comfortably at the pillar. I'm looking a little, but now I will show you what it means to do Sevan Mukhe. Okay, I will now, my mukha, my face, I will turn it towards the deities, and when I chant, I will try to address them. My dear Lord, please accept me in your service. And with this mood, the kirtan gets some feeling, no? Some devotional feeling, some bhakti. inside. Yeah, and that is the way where Krishna can be attracted. You will forget most of what you heard. I know, I'm one of you, and please don't forget this. There is a holy name, or the syllabus, the letters. Hare Krishna. You know, that is there, but that's not Krishna. There is the holy name where there's Krishna fully inside. So the difference between the two is the sevonmukhe, not turning our face to Krishna in service, because Krishna gets attracted not by some lip service when we just sing and have good melodies and all of that, but Krishna gets attracted by the inclination to render service, and that is the heart of the kirtan, which gives the kirtan, or the heart of the holy name, which gives it this here. Yes. This is very powerful medicine, by the way, and I don't want to lose it. So I've put it in. I will also put the pulver back into it. This is only natural herbs, but it's really powerful. So I don't want to waste it, even a drop of it. Hare Krishna. Dobro. We have still a little bit more time. Do you have any questions about what you have heard this afternoon or evening, which you would like to pose at this stage? Yes, I have seen two devotees already. One is Krishna Laya, and then there's Leela Purushottam. How do we do this? We have microphone for you. Wow. Ramo, Ramo, Hare. Sorry. Yes, please, Krishna.
And thank you for this wonderful lecture and also the kirtan afterwards.
Please speak into the microphone.
My
yes.
question is connected to the kirtan. We heard many times that it doesn't depend on instruments and melodies and such things to really reach Krishna or really have these devotional feelings during kirtan. But it is also a fact that there are certain melodies which are just like, you just hear it, it's like crying for Krishna, the melody itself like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, if I'm in such a kirtan like just we had now and what we had before the lecture, I have much more feeling than when it's just, I don't know, it really affects me. Would you say something about that?
I mean, there are at least 3 dimensions going on in the kirtan. One is the melody part. The second is the rhythm, the rhythmic part. And the third is the devotional part. No? And all these 3 really a part of the same kirtan. So there are definitely melodies that are more suited to evoke devotional feelings. That is definitely there. Music and the world of feelings is very much connected. You do know the melodies have different effects on us. And it is also often said that the mridanga is really the heartbeat of the kirtan. When there is a mridanga which is on time and which is supporting the kirtan, it's definitely some different experience. now these things are important as long as we don't have developed what is called rati or love. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur speaks about this, that those who have not yet developed rati, they are dependent on the excellence of the melodies and of the rhythm and these parts. There is this statement, or when it's a matter of eating prasadam, they will ask, yeah, pizza is good, but other things, they are dependent on these external features. And I also believe to some extent that they are definitely important for us at this stage. I really also have seen that in my case. And also different kirtan leaders are able to bring out something in different in me. I have also seen that, just like you. Yeah, that is definitely there. These dimensions are undeniably there. Melody, rhythm. Still, the devotees of the Lord will say the most important thing is that devotional element, because that attracts Krishna. You may have a beautiful melodic kirtan. I have also melodies where I immediately, when I hear this, I immediately want to cry. But it's the same melody which I sang when I was in the world. Na 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 na. It goes like this: Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. When I heard this before Krishna consciousness, I was crying. It's a melody by the Rolling Stones. In this melody, a frustrated man cries out that everyone is happy but not him. And it's astonishing because it's so real that there is tears, but these tears are coming from the mind. We have manasa tears, we have, and we should not compare this. Of course, a devotee can take this melody and sing. It's one of the favorite melodies on Radha Desh mellows, Ooh, yeah. Would you like to hear a melody in ISKCON which was invented by Jimi Hendrix? Maybe not. No, I could go through the catalog. I was highly interested in music before I joined. I could give some stunning things. That is, yes, this is on a certain level. And it can be used in Krishna service. I remember when I came to Krishna consciousness, I would sing melodies of the Hare Krishna mantra to classical tunes of Mozart. Yeah. Would you like to? No, it's all right. It's all right. But it's not. This is not spiritual. But it can be used. The yukta vairagya. No? Srila Prabhupada wanted us to stay with traditional melodies. He told this. He wanted us with these traditional melodies. Yeah. So you have to see what type of qualities your tears have. But again, in any melody, you can awaken your devotion and sing for Krishna. In Kirtan, as I said, many things come together: melody, rhythm, And the most important, hopefully, is devotion. Therefore, when we are kirtan leaders, Prabhupada said, your business is to satisfy Krishna, not to please a crowd. A kirtan leader has to be like a pujari. He wants to draw the kirtan, the curtain, that there is Krishna visible for the devotees. Imagine, I'm always saying this, I have said it many times, a pujari comes out on the altar, from behind the altar, the curtain is still closed, he blows into the conch shell, and all of a sudden he thinks, I'm also quite interesting, I got a new tattoo, perhaps I should show this to the devotees, so that they see my new tattoo. And he shows, takes the dhoti a little high, because he has a tattoo right over the heel, Sudarshan chakra, and so on. We would say, can you please go? We are here because of Krishna, not because of you. So a kirtan leader has to understand the devotees are here because of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Lila Purushottam.
You mentioned 3 types of crying.
Yes, we have a microphone for you.
Okay. You mentioned crying of the body, crying of the mind, and crying of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, when devotees have crying of the soul, what happens to the mind? What is the mind experiencing?
The mind follows the soul. When there is a deep... Prabhupada once was asked, what's the difference between the soul and its thinking and the mind? And he said, it's the content. I was very surprised, when you think spiritually, that's spiritual. When you think materially, that's material. That's the material mind. It's the thinking is going on, thinking, feeling, accepting, and you have to see where do I direct it, and that will describe the quality of or who is singing. If you have your mind directed or your thinking directed in the material energy, it's almost as if the thinking becomes colored with a color. If you think of Krishna, and the more you think of Krishna, the color goes of your thinking, and it's pure thinking it. So the mind is extremely subtle. It's the neighbor of the soul. It's almost, yes, but it's also described as a material element when it's a material thinking.
I'm asking because how can I know that what I feel is really spiritual, or is just mind making something?
That is a good question, Lila Purushottam, Prabhu. Lila Purushottam. How can I know that it's really spiritual? There is the standard answer, which I don't think will help in this type of question, but to save my neck, I will anyways say it. How we know that something is spiritual is we check it by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. This is now the answer which fits all kinds of questions. I know, and it may not actually hit the eye of our question, or why do we hit the center of our question, or the real concern? How do I know? can only say it. Once there was a very advanced devotee, and he was asked, "Do you believe in Krishna?" And he said, "No." I know that there is Krishna. It's not a belief any longer. I know that there is Krishna. So I believe there is something in spiritual life, Lila Purushottam, where it's just, you just know it. And you have no longer any question. It's sometimes, you know, when we pray and there is an answer and we just know this, that Krishna wants me this. This answer came and not, I didn't think about it earlier. You know, it came just out of the, it came totally unexpected. It has nothing to do with my previous knowledge and so on. There are things in spiritual life where we just know it. And how can we say that we know it? Well, you just know it. There is no, the rational mind stops there and says, "I just know it, I'm sorry." I can't explain to you now that this is spiritual. This is my perhaps unsatisfactory answer, but I have given the answer which saves my neck, you know. You ask Guru, you ask Sadhu, you look in the Shastra, and this is also a good answer, but perhaps you have heard this answer and you're still questioning, asking this question. So, in addition to this answer, which is a good answer, I wanted to say there is something in spiritual life. Prabhupada was once asking the question, will Krishna speak to... He asked us, will Krishna speak to you? And you know, when Prabhupada asked these type of questions, we always felt as his disciple, we better don't say some nonsense now. And Prabhupada answered this question, of course Krishna will speak, but he doesn't talk to a nonsense. Srila Prabhupada had very clear. So when you are sincere in Krishna consciousness, Krishna will talk and will give guidance. Think of the time when you were becoming a devotee. I don't know how it was in your case. Most probably, like in my case, I had to drop a lot. You know, what I used to do before. My eating habits were totally different. I was eating non-veg. You know, I was doing things differently. I was thinking differently. And I remember I was very young. I was only 16 years. And my father, who had good intentions, said, you want to become a devotee? I said, yes. I said, but, I mean, you're in the midst of your education. You are spoiling your future chances. And you know, you're very young, 16 years only. I said, I'm the knower of everything. And I know this is what we think when we are young, I said, my father. Young people make decisions which they later take back, no? Have you not heard about this? I said, I cannot, and you know, these are, look, they are only since maybe 2 years in Hamburg. And you want to stay with a group which is so young and give up your educational career and everything. You want to do that? Is this not playing Russian roulette? It might work, but most probably it doesn't work. And my father, he knows to argue. He argued, so many arguments. I said, I cannot answer your questions if I'm very honest, but I just know that this is the right thing to do. I just know it. He said, okay, you will anyways do what you want, but you should know we are always there for you. If your experiment doesn't work, which I think it will not work, you tried many things. Remember, you wanted to play guitar, you went to 3 educational hours, and then you dropped the guitar. We had to buy the guitar for you. Said, it's different. You will see. How is it different? He started again and said, if you allow me to say what I think, I will just answer, I just know. And you check me in 50 years. Krishna. It was one of these things. I couldn't give rational arguments for this. I was defeated, I felt, by my father on the rational level, but I just knew. And I was right. Good. I think we are coming close to 8 o'clock. This program has a beginning and an open end. Hare Krishna. Shishi Panchatattva Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for staying so long. Tomorrow our Chandamoli Maharaj will give a morning lecture. I will not. Medical? Where is he, by the way?
Next to your room.
Here or there? At the Govinda's restaurant. Okay, then I can bring flowers. Yeah, no, honestly. Mike.
I'm not sure. At the moment, I'm not sure who will give the srimad-bhagavatam lecture, but it will be announced on Slovenian forum, I guess, and on Facebook. You are, of course, welcome to come and join the morning program. And Sacinandana Swami will have a Sunday feast program. Hare Krishna Prabhu will have bhajan at 3 o'clock. Then follows lecture. Jutranjo lekcijo, predavanje še ne vem trenutno jaz, kdo bo imel, ampak bomo objavili, tudi napisali. Sacinandana Swami pa bo imel predavanje in popoldne na nedeljskem programu, bhajane pa Hare Krishna Prabhu. Za vse učence Sacinandana Swamija pa še obvestilo, da bomo imeli jutri dopoldne ob 11. sestanek učencev v restauraciji Mandala, bomo še napisali tam gor, se pravi, to je za učence. For all disciples of Sacinandana Swami, we will have a disciple meeting tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. We will announce the address there next to the entrance. So I think this is all. I wish you a nice rest and see you tomorrow. We have a prasadam. It will be served in the tent. Yeah, okay. We invite you also to evening prasadam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,